Oblivion Remastered just works. Not in a technical sense, oh no. It still has that same old Bethesda jank. A guard might yell, "Stop right there, criminal scum," while moonwalking into a freaking tree. But somehow, despite all of that, or maybe because of it, it works better than most games released today. Booting it up felt like putting on a jacket you forgot that you loved. It's a little weird, smells like the past, but man, it fits just like it used to. Oblivion Remastered isn't just a game, it's a memory remastered. Look, I'm not here to tell you Oblivion is a 9 out of 10 out of a freaking weird rating system. I'm not gonna break down skill trees or frame rates, because this isn't about performance, it's about presence. Oblivion Remastered feels like an emotional time travel of sorts. It doesn't try to reinvent itself, it just makes everything look like how I imagined it to look like in 2006. And that's the whole point. It's not about shiny graphics, it's about the emotional clarity. It's kind of like seeing an old photo of yourself that's been cleaned up by either an AI software or by throwing that picture into Canva and editing the sharpness and clarity to the absolute maximum. Everything hits harder because now you can actually see the way it always felt like, if that makes any sense. The first time I stepped out of that freaking weird sewer with the rats and one zombie, one literal zombie, I didn't feel like I discovered Cyrodiil. It felt like I discovered freedom again. There was no objective marker screaming at me, no companion nagging me to move the plot forward. It was just me standing under the pale sun, staring at a world that just felt massive. I wasn't a min-maxer or a meta player. I was just some kid wondering, can I punch that horse or can I pickpocket a priest while they're reading a book? By the way, the answer to both of those is a solid yes, but there's also consequences. Oh my god, the consequences. But what Oblivion Remastered did for me was remind me of who I was when I first played it. 13-year-old me wasn't rushing to finish games. I was savoring them. I didn't skip dialogue. I read every word because I didn't know what would happen. And when my dude Lucian showed up in my sleep to induct me into the Dark Brotherhood, I gasped out loud, like the type of gasp that makes your partner or wife run into the room thinking something bad had happened. Which I still, by the way, I still do want to apologize for that. I know you're watching this, so I am sorry that I gasped so freaking loud. But I didn't do it because it was shocking. I did it because it unlocked so many freaking memories in my head. Because here's the thing, there's a specific magic in Oblivion Remastered. It looks like how you remembered it looking like, but now it actually is, and it looks like, man, that makes zero sense. The muddy textures, the bug-eyed NPCs, the way everyone spoke like they were in a middle school play. Your brain smoothed that out over time. In your mind, the Imperial City was grand, the forests were deep and luscious, the dungeons were dark and mysterious. And now, well, now it felt exactly like that. Standing before your first Oblivion gate in full HD 4K glory doesn't just improve the scene, it unlocks something buried deep into your cranium, as it always looked that awesome. But now you can finally see it, if that makes any sense. I hope I make sense here. The whodunit party quest, for example, feels like Clue on acid now, because the lighting, the facial animations, and the ambiance just amplify the creepy tension. Remasters don't need to modernize everything, and that is a fact. They just need to let your nostalgia bloom. Because look, let's be honest, Oblivion is still freaking weird. The Bethesda jank is still there. It is funny, it is annoying, and it is frustrating and awesome all at the same time. The AI often spirals into chaos. Characters greet you with, "I saw a mud crab the other day," disgusting creatures, and they just freaking walk off. It's like hanging out with NPCs who've had one too many sips of grandma's old cough medicine, if you know what I'm saying. But that's part of the charm here. Modern games tend to sand off every rough edge, or they try their best to do that. But Oblivion gives you a sword, a save button, and the freedom to accidentally commit mass crimes at any village you freaking come across. That unpredictability, that beautiful broken spontaneity, I'll throw in a fancy word there, it's all here, and it's part of what makes this game feel so special and just so fun. We need that again. Games today often feel like curated museum tours. I mean, they're gorgeous and impressive, sure, but they often feel too safe. Oblivion, on the other hand, feels like a haunted amusement park where everything could fall apart at any given moment. And that's why it's so freaking unforgettable. This remaster reminds me that RPGs don't need to be flawless to be impactful. What they need is basically a world that trusts you to explore it. Characters that feel like real people, even if their faces are polygons in Crisis, or stories that give you choice, even if those choices ultimately lead to freaking disaster. Oblivion gave us a world that was ambitious, it was messy, and it was soulful, but most of all, it gave us ownership. You didn't just follow the story, you became part of it. And ultimately, as you step away from games that you've already completed, you usually remember them not for the graphics or the mechanics, but for moments like the one where you step out of the sewers, look at the world and think to yourself for the first time, wow, this world is mine. Look, there's this idea that nostalgia makes us blind, that we forgive too much, that we look back with rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia. But sometimes it's the truth. Look, it reminds us of how far we've come and what we might have left behind. Playing Oblivion Remastered made me realize just how many modern games have lost that specific spark. It's not about returning to the past forever. It's about taking what worked, the feeling of discovery, of freedom, more like, and immersion, and bringing that forward into the future of gaming. Look, we need more games like Oblivion Remastered, honestly. Not because the game is perfect, because it's not, but because it knows exactly what it is. And it kind of trusts you to find your own way in this grand world of we're fast traveling also, like immediately you can fast travel. Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? So yeah, Oblivion Remastered still has its jank, it still has its bugs, man, let's be honest. It still has those NPCs who tell you to do something only for them to just stand around and repeat the same lines over and over again. But man, it still does have that magic. And I'm talking about that feeling of stepping out into a world that doesn't just ask for your attention, it kind of earns it. So if you've ever wanted to feel like a kid again, not just playing a game, but living inside of one, Oblivion Remastered just scratches that itch, my broski. It works because it remembers what gaming used to feel like, and maybe, just maybe, what it could feel like again. Ultimately, what the f do I know, man? I'm just a random gamer on the internet who really enjoyed their time, or have been enjoying them time in Oblivion Remastered. I do want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that this game is as hyped as it is because it was a surprise, or because people just use nostalgia glasses to play it? And if that's a bad thing, look, there's a lot of questions here, but any and all comments, man. Take this video a long ass way to the greatness of the tubes, of course, man. Subscribe while you're at it, because why not, man? You might as well subscribe if you made it to this part of the video, man. Any and all subscribers, I appreciate every single one of you, to be very honest. Let's get deep, let's get honest. I love you guys. In any case, I don't really know how to end this video, so click this link right here to watch me speak about a game that really hit me deep into the feels, and that's Eastward. In any case, I hope you guys have a great day wherever you're from, whichever time of day you watch this at. I've been your broski, so keep on trucking my dudes. I'll see you in the next upload. Peace!